Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
Good evening, I'm Dawn Gray, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now. Former Windsor Spitfire Ben Johnson has been sentenced to 3 years in prison and will spend 20 years on the sex offender registry. He is convicted for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl in a bathroom stall at Mint nightclub. An appeal is expected to be filed tomorrow. Windsor Essex Catholic School Board is on day 8 of their strike. The teachers' union is working on getting the suspended teachers back in the classroom. The USS Detroit docked in Windsor. Katie Panasuk was there to bring us the details.
Americans and Canadians gathered at Windsor's waterfront yesterday to watch as the USS Detroit docked at the Windsor port for the first time in history. White-eyed singers from Walpole Island gave their blessing to the mighty ship, along with many other warm Canadian welcomes. Councillor Fred Francis and Lieutenant Commander Robert Head gave honorable gifts to the captain in appreciation for visiting Windsor.
Thank you everyone for attending here. This is a fantastic day, a historic day, as has been mentioned already. This is truly a continuation of a fantastic relationship, international relationship. I've never pulled into a Canadian port on board any of the ships in which I served, and very few of my shipmates had either. So this is a historic day for us personally, as well as for our countries, for our navies, and for certainly the cities, brother cities of Detroit and Windsor, and also for the LCS program.
As many people listen attentively to Commander Desmond, he addressed his excitement about the relationship between the two countries.
The relationship that's so special between Detroit and Windsor is phenomenal, and we are so fortunate. We consider ourselves so fortunate to be able to be a part of it.
Marty Gervais wrote an original poem for the occasion. As Windsor's first poet laureate, currently appointed in his second term, he is an award-winning poet, journalist, photographer, playwright, historian, editor, and teacher. He has earned widespread recognition for his work and expressed how grateful he was to speak in honor of the arrival of the USS Detroit.
Well, it was particularly important for me because my father-in-law, who came from Texas, he ended up marrying a woman from Windsor, but at the time he was just in the Navy, in the U.S. Navy, and he was training across the river in Detroit, where the Dawson Museum is. I think that's where it was, and it was just coincidental that he was here, and then ended up marrying a woman from Windsor. So when I thought about this U.S. ship coming here, there was a connection, and so I was very touched by that, and so it was very privileged and honored for me to be here to read a poem as the Poet Laureate for the City of Windsor.
The USS Detroit will be docked until Friday, where visitors can view the ship before it makes its journey to Florida. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Katie Panasuk.
Alyssa Horrobin is standing by with a quick look at the weather. How does it feel out there, Alyssa?
Well, Dawn, each night we're out here, it gets darker and darker, and it's also cooling off quite quickly. Right now, it's about 9 degrees Celsius, and tonight will be partly cloudy and 4. I'll be back a little later in the show, and we'll look at our 3-day forecast.
Thanks, Alyssa. The International Film Festival is coming back to Windsor. Lindy Colleen Morgan reports.
Tuesday, October 25th marks a one-week countdown to Canada's second-largest international volunteer film festival. WIF will begin the week of November 1st and wrap up on the 6th. In the past, the festival has been limited to the Capitol Theatre on University, but this year, a second location has been added. The venue will also be held at the Chrysler Theatre at the St. Clair College Centre for the Arts. Lindy and Georgie says, Windsor has excellent venues.
Well, we wanted to add a venue. So our Capitol Theatre has been our home for so many years, and we wanted to keep enlarging our home. And the Chrysler Theatre is a beautiful, beautiful space, lots of seating in here. It's something we've discussed for years, and then we've been working with the St. Clair Alumni Association. It's been absolutely fantastic, and we said, let's do this together. It makes such sense. It brings in so many people here to the Chrysler. It makes sense for WIF.
New programming has also been added to the festival and will include live readings, sing-alongs, and virtual reality. This year's festival will include the screening of 112 films, one of which is a live documentary where viewers are invited to watch, listen, think, and alter the storyline. Kim Nelson is the director of the live documentary and says this is a first for WIF.
But what we're doing as part of our live documentary, which has never been done before, is there's a participatory aspect. So after we show the deconstructed documentary, we open it up to the audience, and often at film festivals there'll be a Q&A after a film. But as part of our live documentary, the Q&A becomes a part of the film.
Tickets for this event can be picked up on the corner of University and Victoria at the WIF box office. Tickets can be purchased up to the festival's start date, between the times of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. For MediaPlex News, I'm Lindy Colleen Morgan.
Director of WIF, Vince and Georgie, came to our studio for 3 minutes with Lindy Colleen Morgan.
Hello, my name is Lindy Colleen Morgan, and this is 3 Minutes with Vincent Georgie. Vincent is the Executive Director of the Windsor International Film Festival. Vincent, when did you get involved with the Windsor International Film Festival, and why?
I got involved back in 2009, so I've been with the festival about 8 years total. I was approached by Dr. Alan Wilderman, the president of the University of Windsor, who had suggested that I take a look at joining the Windsor Film Festival because my expertise is the marketing of film, and he thought I could be of support there. I just joined the University of Windsor, and I was delighted to. But it's amazing when you get involved in things that you could never imagine the time and history you'd have with an organization. You know, back when I joined, this is about May 2009, I never could have imagined the time I've put in or just the things that have gone on. It's a bit nostalgic.
So what does WIF provide to the emerging filmmakers in the Windsor area?
Yeah, I think what WIF does is provides them, a platform to showcase their films. All filmmakers want to have their films seen. No filmmaker makes a film to be seen. But in this case, we're actually able to showcase them by celebrating those films, by bringing media attention to them, by marketing these films, by putting on a great festival where their films, in one theater are being shown right next to, another major, Hollywood film or another major, art house French film, and the theater is right next to them. It just gives them a sense of your film is part of the mix too, and that's an important piece.
So what's different about this year's WIF? I know that there has been a change in location. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, well, this year we're really delighted that we've added the Chrysler Theatre at the St. Clair Centre for the Arts on top of the Capitol Theatre. So normally we were always just at the Capitol Theatre, which is we love that venue so much, but we wanted to keep growing the festival, and the Chrysler is the perfect natural choice for us. So we're really excited by that. It's obviously a beautiful venue right down by the water, but what's great about it too, it's just a few minutes walk between the two theaters, so you can flit around and go to different films in both theaters, which is great. So that's been a really nice addition. And then certainly in terms of programming, we've been playing around a lot of new initiatives this year. The Sound of Music sing-along is going to be hugely popular. Doing live reads, we're doing a live read of the script of Reservoir Dogs and a live read of the script of Juno. So live read is when actors come in and actually do a voice reading of a script. You're not watching the film, they're actually performing the script. So amongst other things, lots of different pieces we're excited about.
So how many films are being shown this year, and which one are you kind of rooting for at this point?
Oh, geez, yeah. We're showing, it's 107 feature films and documentaries, and I think it's 19 shorts, 5 VR installations, and on and on and on. Just, it's great. Some of the films I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about for Manchester by the Sea. I think that's just such a beautiful film with Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams. I think that'll be a big hit. I'm also really proud that we're showing Migrant Dreams about the labor conditions of migrant workers in Leamington. It's very much our story, and it's a story that needs to be told. So those are two films that I'm quite excited about.
So what part of the programming are you most looking forward to this year?
Oh my gosh, I'm looking for, what I really enjoy? I actually enjoy Midnight Madness quite a bit, because I think that's just a lot of fun. It's experiential, it's enjoyable. We're doing a midnight screening of Space Jam, we're doing Mean Girls, we're doing The Room, of course. We're also premiering the new film The Girl with All the Gifts, which is a really good horror film. All the new Rob Zombie film as well, 31. I like Midnight Madness quite a bit. I find that's always a good time. Even when I'm tired by the end of the night, when the midnight crowd comes in, it's a good time.
So recently WIF was named the second largest volunteer film festival in Canada.
Yes.
What does this title mean for the city of Windsor?
Oh my gosh, I mean, I think it can mean a lot for us as a community to know that Canada has 158 volunteer-run film festivals, and we're the second biggest right now. We can be really proud of that. I think it shows how much people in Windsor love movies, love the arts, love movie-going, love having a great experience. And this is the festival that Windsor built. This is our festival that we've grown year after year after year, and all of this praise and recognition we receive, we've all collectively contributed to it.
And what would you say to those thinking about going to WIF but haven't made their final decision yet?
Oh, absolutely come down. Just come and have a good time. Whether you already know the film you want to see, or you just want to get a recommendation once you're here, or just walk into any theater and just take in an experience. People always end up having a good time at WIF, whether they know what film they're coming for. Some people come just for the social aspect, just to see the crowds, just to try something new, catch up with an old friend. You don't have to be a big movie buff to actually enjoy the film festival. There's just so much social around it too.
So that's all the time we have today. This has been 3 Minutes with Vincent Georgie, the Executive Director of the Windsor International Film Festival.
Distracted driving is an issue law enforcement are working hard to prevent. Mariah Atherley has more.
Statistics point to distracted driving as one of the leading causes of accidents across Canada. When you're not focusing on the road, bad things can happen fast. For instance, using your phone to text, change your music, or even eating behind the wheel all count as distracted driving. Maisha Cabano is a Windsorite who was recently involved in an accident.
Yeah, it makes me more conscious on the road. Like every time I drive now, I'm like more concerned. Like when it turns green light, I wait for at least 5 seconds or 10 seconds before I should proceed.
It doesn't matter if you're on the highway or stopped at a red light, distracted driving could cost you. Constable Andrew Joulard says you need to be more aware on the road.
Distracted driving is mainly when somebody's utilizing their device while they're driving, right? So obviously that puts everyone in danger on the roadway.
Remember, always keep both hands on the wheel and eyes on the road. For MediaPlex News, I'm Mariah Atherley.
Windsor's Downtown Pride office offers support to the community. Nate Hinckley reports.
Windsor Pride Community Office has a wide range of services available to the LGBT community. They include programs such as suicide prevention, gambling, drug-related issues, and safe sex. Bob Williams, Executive Director of Windsor Pride.
When people come through the door on their first visit, it could be someone studying going, I need to know more information, I don't know where else to go, you have the referrals, I want to be able to take it back to my class.
The programs and resources help many members of the community, such as Wendy Avery.
Some people think that I lost something when I no longer had a daughter, but I didn't lose anything. I had the same child. What I ended up telling him was that I love my child. I don't love my daughter or my son. I love my child. So that is how I feel about it. And I just wish that everybody else could end up having the same experience, what he's getting.
For more information about Windsor Pride office, go to www.windsorpride.com. I'm Nate Hinckley from MediaPlex News Now.
It's time to check in with Mikaela Morin for our weekly community calendar. Mikaela?
It's Halloween, and Windsor is crawling with several eerie events. I'm Mikaela Morin, and this is What's Up, Windsor? Enjoy the ultimate haunted house experience by taking a frightening night tour through Fort Malden. The tours run from October 27th to the 30th and depict horrifying scenes in the historic buildings. From executions to zombie soldiers, your senses will be tingling. On Saturday, October 29th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., come out and enjoy an autumn stroll through Walkerville. Shops will provide treats and treasures for monsters big and small. Don't forget your costumes for this daytime trick-or-treating event. Halloween nightlife kicks off this Saturday. 29 Park hosts the night of mayhem you'll never forget. Experience the living, breathing freak show with spooky decor and jaw-dropping performances. This Saturday, Higher Limits offers festivities at their Halloween party. Stop by for all-day horror movies, scary games, free candy, thriller music, and at 11 p.m., a dope costume contest. Don't miss your chance to take part in some Halloween fun. This has been What's Up, Windsor? Back to you, Dawn.
Thanks, Mikaela. Are you dressing up for Halloween? Reporter Nate Hinckley brings us the latest on costume sales.
It's that time of the year again, where you usually see ghouls and goblins. Instead, you may see lots of Harley Quinns and clowns when trick-or-treating. According to the National Retail Federation, the top costumes of the year are Batman and Harley Quinn among young adults. Also on the rise are costumes of political presidential candidates such as Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the older demographics. Lawrence Hanna, an employee at Spirit Halloween.
Kids like their costumes to be a little more serious. They like going after their passions and things they can relate to. Adults like the funnier stuff and like, a little more raunchy maybe, but obviously with kids we play it safe.
Also on the rise are costumes geared towards children's shows, according to Denise Kakish, the store manager at Spirit Halloween.
I think like any age of children, they relate to somebody on TV in a show that they see. They want to be that person, or there's something great about the character of that character on the TV that they relate to, which is really cool. Sometimes we have to redirect some of the young girls that it's got to be age appropriate too, as well as fun.
As for the clown craze,
we have nothing to do with it. Anyone could wear any kind of costume and behave stupid, so we love clowns. They generate so much fun for kids. We don't want to take anything away from that.
For Halloween costumes and great ideas, come to Spirit Halloween. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Nate Hinckley.
A local pumpkin patch has closed its door this season. Michelle Laramie has the scoop.
With Halloween just around the corner, many people are looking for pumpkins. Unfortunately, this year, they won't be available at Manning Road's Big Boo. Owner-operator Michael Chittle was not available for comment, but many took to the patch's unofficial Facebook page, posting of their disappointment.
I took my son out to the Boo, I guess, to get our pumpkins, and they're not open this year. So, I guess we'll have to find somewhere else to get our pumpkins.
Named for the giant white boo on the lawn, it has long been the place for pumpkins and fun during the fall season. This year, it is quiet and empty. The driveways are blocked with trailers and cones.
But not to worry. For families who are looking for fun fall things to do around Windsor and Essex, there are still plenty of options.
Places like Wagner's Apple Orchard, Allsop's Farm Pumpkins, or any roadside pumpkin stand are still open for fun a little longer.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Michelle Laramie.
Let's head back outside for a look at the 3-day forecast. Alyssa?
Thanks, Don. On Wednesday, we can expect some light rain and a high of 9 and a low of 6. Thursday, it'll be cloudy, more showers with a high of 9 and a low of 3. And on Friday, we can expect some cloudy periods with a balmy high of 12 and a low of 9. That's it for me from the corner of University of Victoria. Back to you, Don.
A local boutique celebrated 6 years with a unique fashion show. Stephanie Zografis tells us more.
Pop Hair Gallery and Inc. held a hair and fashion show called Popaganda to celebrate their 6th anniversary. Many people gathered for a fun night at Pop to see what the stylists had come up with. This year's theme was called Mind Factory. Jennifer Lopez, the costume designer of the mail-order bride look, said the most exciting and challenging part about this experience was taking the first step.
It's the hardest and it's the most exciting. Because I know for me, as soon as I get a piece of it going, then I can just run with it, you know what I mean?
Tracy Patterson said that Popaganda is an outlet for their stylist creativity.
So it's a chance for them to actually create their vision from head to toe and present it to the public. Because we all get into this business because we're artists, right? So we make art out of hair.
During the night's event, Popaganda had 11 stylists and 4 tattoo artists contribute. The show took roughly 6 months to organize, but main setup happened in about 2 days.
The hardest part is organizing the actual production. So stages set up, alcohol dropped off, sound system in basically less than 12 hours. Yeah.
There were 12 looks being showcased at Popaganda. The models worked closely with their stylists to bring the looks from their imaginations to life.
Kind of to feel the essence of my character, so she wanted me to be a lioness goddess, so to just feel that kind of Egyptian feel, and I don't know, just to kind of feel it in the clothing and the music and the dance all together. So.
For MediaPlex News, I'm Stephanie Zagrafis.
2 international students have joined St. Clair Saints baseball team. Myra Lacayo reports.
St. Clair College has the honor of having 2 students from Panama on the Saints baseball team. St. Clair College has been recruiting for years, and international students have been great for the team. Bernie Chico Labute is assistant coach, says how recruiting in other countries can be difficult.
We've been working on this for about 3 years, and it actually took about 18 months for the first athletes to come forward.
After being cut by the Boston Red Sox in 2013, Roberto Duncan was recruited by St. Clair College for the start of the 2014 season.
In 2014, Bernie Chico and Ron Sagan, the vice president of St. Clair College, they went to Panama looking for athletes that were professional baseball players and willing to study. And they found us there, we try out, and they liked the way we played.
The Saints baseball team is having such a great season. Max Ayerza, who is also from Panama, says how he feels about being part of such a great community.
I appreciate the opportunity St. Clair have given to me. It has been tough to make it here, but it has been worth it.
The St. Clair Saints baseball team will be hosting the Indivisional Championship on October 30th. For MediaPlex News, I'm Mara Lacayo.
Rio Olympian Noel Montcalm sat down for 3 minutes with reporter Garrett Fedor.
Hi, my name is Garrett Fedor, and today we're spending 3 minutes with Noel Montcalm. Noel is an Olympian who competes in the 4x400 meter relay and the 400 meter hurdles. Noel, let's jump right into it. What was it like competing in Rio?
Rio was an amazing experience. I mean, it's been a huge goal of mine, and just to be out there competing, against the best of the best, and being included in that was awesome in itself. Getting to spend time, my family was out there, my coach was out there, so having them join me and support me and experience it as well contributed to the whole overall experience, which was amazing.
How would you describe your performances, finishing 18th in the 400 meter hurdles and then 4th in the 4x400 meter?
Yeah, my goal going in the 4 hurdles was to make the semifinal, and I accomplished that with a great heat performance. And although I was slightly disappointed in my semi-final performance, I would have liked to run a personal best and run a little bit faster. I'm still, incredibly proud to have represented my country and finish top 18th in the world, and then to go on and finish just off the podium with the girls in the 4x4 just, capped off an awesome week.
Before competing in Rio, you ran for the University of Windsor and trained there as well before the Olympics. What made you choose Windsor?
From Windsor, I attended high school in Windsor, and going into the kinesiology program at the University of Windsor is where I started out, and they had an amazing program, a supportive program. Dennis Farrell coaching, head coach at the University of Windsor. My coach, Don Garrett, coached me a little bit right out of high school, and he was the hurdles coach in Windsor, so for me there was no other option.
How would you say your life has changed since the Olympics?
It's been a crazy whirlwind since coming home from Rio. Just talking to people like yourself, going into schools and speaking to kids and inspiring them and encouraging them. Sharing my experience with people across the community has just been an amazing experience and a proud experience.
What got you interested, or how did you get your start in track?
I played all different sports when I was younger, but track to me was just, I loved the individual aspect of it, and being responsible for your performance, and you're out there improving yourself, and you're the only one that's, can be blamed for a bad performance or whatnot. So I just have loved the improvement upon myself and just that individual aspect of running.
What would you say your best of moments and worst of moments for your career is so far?
Probably the best moments would be, I'm a 3-time national champion, so just that in itself in 5 years has been quite an accomplishment for me. And then making it to the Olympics has been probably the top accomplishment and best moment in my career. As far as worst, last year was a pretty down year for me. I had to deal with injury, and that was tough on my coach and I. So just trying to come back out of that was tough, but it has helped shape my career as a whole.
4 years from now, where do you see yourself?
In addition to an Olympic athlete, I'm also a registered nurse. So hopefully, expanding in my career as a nurse and continuing to train, in the sport of track and field. Next year is an important year. It's a world championship year, and each year is pretty important. And I'll take it one step at a time, 1 year at a time.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Garrett Fedora, and we've just spent 3 minutes with the Canadian Olympian, Noel Montcalm.
A Spitfire was named OHL's Player of the Week. Todd Chiron reports.
The Ontario Hockey League recently named Windsor Spitfires forward Logan Brown as its Player of the Week. The Ottawa Senators' 2016 11th overall draft choice scored 2 goals and 6 assists in 3 straight wins for the Spitfires.
I got my 2 line mates back this weekend, Jeremiah and Gabe Velarde, and it was they were hot. They were going, and we built some chemistry this week, and we were all successful. So it was good to. It's obviously good to be recognized by the league, but I can't thank them enough for them coming back and helping me out a lot.
Brown scored 14 points in his first 6 games after returning from the Senators training camp with at least 1 point per game.
I think you just learn what it takes to be a pro, and going up there, they had a lot of vets in the room who really helped me out, and I was just up there trying to be a sponge and bring everything back here and help our young guys, grow up earlier, I guess.
At the time of the awards announcement, Brown led the OHL with 10 assists and 12 power play points.
It's huge for Logan, obviously, to be at the Ottawa Senators training camp, and you get to see the difference between junior and the National Hockey League, and that you're that close, but at the same time you know how much more you need to grow as an athlete and as a person in order to achieve the ultimate goal of playing there. And he's taken those experiences, he's brought them back, he's worked extremely hard, and like I said, he found chemistry with Gabriel Velarde and Jeremiah Addison on the first line, so that's been a huge step in his development and obviously his success right now at the start of the year.
Brown, who is currently tied for 3rd in league scoring with 6 goals and 11 assists, netted 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of play in his first game after earning the award.
I mean, I think anytime you can put points up, there's some confidence, but you don't want to get too high and you never want to get too low, and that's what you learn over the years. So I'm just trying to stay even keel, and they're going in for me right now, and I just want to keep working hard, and I think that's what it is. The harder you work, the more chances you're going to get. So that's the mentality I have right now, and all the guys in our room.
After a loss in London this weekend, Brown and the Spitfires currently boast a 7-3 record for 14 points and host the Kingston Frontenacs this Thursday night at the WFCU Center before heading to Flint on Saturday. For MediaPlex News, I'm Todd Chiron.
Ontario's youngest equestrian competitor made it to Kentucky. Alyssa Horrobin reports.
15-year-old Chloe Duffy is the youngest person in Ontario competing in the discipline of equestrian eventing. She and her horse Eddie have been approved to compete in the Thoroughbred Makeover in Lexington, Kentucky, October 27th to the 30th. Duffy has been riding horses since she was 5 years old and competing for the last 4 years. She has a lot of pride in her riding partner.
I love to see the horses succeed at what they've been training for. So hard. I'm really excited to see that Eddie has accomplished something that we've been training really hard to do.
Sandy Duffy homeschools her daughter, which allows her to be flexible with her training. Sandy said the biggest sacrifice for their family is having Chloe gone for long periods of time, but that it's worth the reward.
Seeing her grow as a young woman and a rider in the saddle, these last 10 months of her working on the flat work and working, we say in the sandbox and the dressage ring, she has just become this most beautiful, elegant young woman sitting in the saddle, and it really makes us proud.
Chloe has branded herself as Duffy Equestrian and hopes to compete for Canada someday in the Olympics. For MediaPlex News, I'm Alyssa Horrobin.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dawn Gray, and you're watching MediaPlex News Now.